fine. You can talk about Skylanders.
In the beginning of the series, there was 8 different elements, but approaching the release of Skylanders Trap Team, it was rumored that there would be 2 new elements, and even when the game released, these were being kept as a mystery. But months before, due to carelessness, leaks, and even due to glitches in the game, it was revealed that the new elements were light and dark, and eventually in Wave 3, the Dark expansion pack would be released, which included the Midnight Museum level, the Dark Spider Trap, and the first Dark Skylander, Nightmare. But during Wave 4, Nightmare was released on her own. Not only is she the only trap master in this element, but she's the only character that can open the Dark Gate. And for what it is, she's probably one of the better characters in this element. But also during Wave 4, Blackout will be released, and is the only core character in this element. Out of the two, he's by far the better character, as his design clearly fits the dark, scary theme of the element, but he also has the black hole glitch. While performing a certain attack while getting into a cutscene causes the game to not let him take any damage. The last Dark related thing made for this game were the Dark Sword Trap and the Dark Handstand Trap, which can help you trap the villains Ice Scream, Fist of Cups, Taekwon Crow, and Nightshade.
Well, Grace, I hope they made more.
Oh, don't worry, there's more we have to talk about.
I suck at sarcasm.
Nightfall's just bad, like I legit can't find one really good thing to say about her. She was released during Wave 2 of Skylanders Superchargers and was the only character released for the Dark element. There was at least 2 Supercharger figures for each element. Even the Light element that only got Astro Blast had a legendary variant. The only thing released that was related to the Dark element was her vehicle, the Sea Shadow. It was released during the first wave of the game and it was probably the coolest looking vehicle. Even the Supercharged version is probably the best out of the entire series. But also available at launch in the Dark Edition starter pack was the Dark Sea Shadow. Yeah, Viz got a variant and yet Boomjet didn't. Both vehicles are pretty much the same, but for some reason the Dark variant isn't being supercharged. Maybe I'm dumb, the game is dumb, but we can all agree, Imaginators sucks.
You're gonna talk about the game you hate so much that you bought it 6 times?
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's time for your medication.
This is where the shit really starts hitting the fan. But the release of the final game in the series brought along new characters and gimmicks, with the main one being the Imagination Crystals, with the Dark element getting 3 unique designs. The first one being released in the Dark Edition starter pack with the Dark Ruin Creation Crystal being included. However, this design was never released outside of this pack. Dark Pyramid would also be released during Wave 1, but only in an 8-pack that was only released in Japan, which is now fairly rare. But eventually was released outside of the pack during Wave 3 in a triple pack with the Magic Lantern and the Undead I really wish I can read. Then during Wave 4 it would be released in a single pack alongside the last creation crystal, the Dark Reactor. As for what they do in the game, well, not much. Every crystal pretty much does the same thing where you can make your own Skylander, but the only thing that's different is what character you make or what element the crystal is. The other new type of Skylanders and Imaginators were the Senseis. Not only did it make everyone else feel pointless, but they had 2 characters for the Dark element, with the first one being released was Hoodsicle, with his variant Steel-Plated Hoodsicle, being released during Wave 1 with him being a Best Buy exclusive, but during Wave 2 his normal variant was released. Each element had 1 villain from Trap Team, but some villains' elements were changed from the transition, like Graveclobber from Earth to Water and the aforementioned Taekwon Crow from Dark to Fire. And the same thing would happen with Hoodsicle, as he was previously in the Undead and is now in Dark. Although it's a bit odd, Dark being his new element makes the most sense for his character. As for how he plays, if you like how he works in Trap Team, besides the glitch, then you enjoy playing with him just as much. The same wave that normal Hoodsicle was released, the other Dark Skylander was released, named Starcast. I really wish I could say something good about him. He can throw ninja stars, he can ride a star, and he can turn invisible. I don't know if it's because I just don't really like playing as projectile characters, or maybe because I just don't like Imaginators. I blame Imaginators. Starcast that same wave also had a chase variant, being Clear Starcast. But there is one more variant, and it's probably the most infamous, with that being Happy Birthday Ben Starcast, which was in collaboration with Tom Brady and given to people who attended his son's birthday party, which means that there probably weren't that many figures made of him, making him one of, if not the rarest Skylanders ever made.
Alright, that's it. I'm out of here.
Oh, come on, Birdo. You couldn't let me talk about this for 6 minutes and yet you let me talk about an anime for 15?
Whatever, Andres. See you later, loser.
Hello, Birdo. I believe I'm your son.
Please just finish your video.
If you include every normal, chase, vehicle, trap, crystal, and variant, there's only 16 figures in the Dark element. Both Sea Shadows, Nightfall, and Nightmare are worth around $8 to $20 each. All 3 of the Creation Crystals, Starcast, and both Hoodsicles are worth around $20 to $35 each. Each of the traps, due to their small releases, are worth around $40 to $60 each. Blackout is around $90, Clear Starcast is worth $200, and as for Happy Birthday Ben Starcast, due to how limited and rare of a figure he is, it's difficult to determine a price for him. But if we go off the only sold listing of him, he's priced at around $500, but it's likely that he's worth even more. Overall, although the Dark Element probably had some of the best looking characters in the series, they didn't really do much with them. They clearly added it in Trap Team to gain some sort of interest in the game, but after it served its purpose, they kinda just had to keep it around, and from the start it always seemed like they gave it the absolute bare minimum. Dark had the lowest figures out of all the elements. Maybe that wasn't their intention, and it's possible due to time crunch they couldn't add any more characters. But to me, Dark will be known as the Forgotten Skylanders Element.
Get up in my house.
But father, I love you.
Die.